Hi all, welcome to something I put a wee bit of time and effort into, and I know a few people have been preparing like 3-hour guides, 6-hour guides, 12-hour guides just for what can you achieve for an RTG. Well, here is an RTG that you can get to level 40 in a day probably, if you're quite good with your time management and just maybe if you've got like somebody that you can help with throughout. So we're going to delve into everything that you can do. And I've also got like a written guide as well, which will be on Twitter with everything explained, what you can achieve and so forth. So there's plenty to kind of really break down, and it's quite good that there's so much you can unlock basically in a day of FIFA. So obviously daily objectives gets you 250, so that's the first part of the puzzle. Now leveled up, you need one level up player in your starting squad. So basically you're going to need Calhanoglu as early as possible to kind of tick this off, but at the same time you can kind of hold off. At the same time it's no immediate rush, but at the same time you're trying to factor in games, as few games as possible, because you're looking anywhere between 30 and 45 say friendly games, give or take, maybe a push 50, but like it also depends how you go about it as well for everything, so factor that part as well. So play 4 with a level up player, play 8 and play 12. Gets you 4k XP and a free 83 plus players pack for your trouble. So, and these are 1-0 rage quits that you can do, like if you're doing the same with the Shapeshifter stuff, which we'll get into as we go. Level up is play 7, and when we get down to it is score and assist in the same match using a French player. This is the only one you can do friendlies. I've basically structured it so what can be friendlies, what can be squad battles, moments, rivals, foot champs, depending how you want to go about it. So the 8 stars in foot moments, when you're trying to do your RTG, because you've got to earn 3, you get 8 as your highest, so you're chipping away at them basically, so it's not too shabby. Play 4 matches in squad battles on semi-pro difficulty, rivals or foot champs. Obviously it would just be semi-pro. Squad battles or rivals is what you'll do, with minimum 4 French players in your starting squad. Best advice really is probably just stick to squad battles maybe, or you could do rivals initially in like Div 10, like maybe say Div 10, Div 9, Div 8, because the standard might be easy enough to just chip away if you're good enough with a lot of these. Now the French players part, I'm not including in the initial squad I'll show, but depending how you want to combine everything, as long as you then maybe build a variant where, like with the French players, that could be like with Calhanoglu, because there's quite a few French players in Serie A to kind of chip away at, so there's definitely ways around it to combine. Keep 2 clean sheets in squad battle matches, rivals or foot champs, easy enough to do. So on squad battle, rivals is probably harder said than done. You're going to need rage quits probably on your side. On 6 matches with minimum 5 Ligue 1 players, goes back to the French part. You can have it with French or whatever, but also, as we emphasise in our end notes, if you're trying, your best advice is try and combine with league, ideally nations and leagues. So if it says French, if there's French, German, Spanish, try and but then you look at the league specific stuff. You would say, right, oh, I can do, if I have say 2 French from La Liga, 2 French from Ligue 1 and so forth, you literally can combine all the various parts, and it just makes it easy for you when it says like Eredivisie or Ligue 1. It's just trying to make it as easy as possible and as few games as possible. And then gold upgrade is 4 times, there's like that quite a few times over, so when you've done it like 3 or 4 times over, you're pretty much getting like 500 XP or something, and like 500 coins. And then bronze upgrade, the only once it shows this, but because there's silver upgrade as well, but easy enough to chip away, and by the time you've done it all you get 3k XP. Extravaganza home is 75k spend on coins or 850 FIFA points. Now for if it's an RTG, you're obviously spending coins. Now the hope is that you can achieve, by the time you eventually get to this, you've achieved 75k coins, because you'll have hopefully rinsed say the club in SBCs like marquee matchups and anything else to bring tradable packs, anything that can give you coins that you hopefully build it up because you can't achieve 40k XP otherwise. You'll end up at 38,250 without completing this. This is where we're at the moment. So play 4 with the Extravaganza home kit equipped, win 2 and score 15. Nothing too strenuous about that, and as I say, it gets you 6k XP for your trouble. You don't actually have to complete it to achieve 40k, because obviously it's just plain win or one score, sorry, would achieve it in the quickest fashion, but it's up to you how you want to go about it. Weekly objectives: play 4, play 8, usual stuff, win 5 matches and squad battles, then assist 6, score 12, so nothing too strenuous there, earn 3, another one like that as I said, list 2 and buy 2. So as I said, because you're doing them, a good chunk of these in friendlies, well 4 of them in friendlies, 2 are menus, 1 squad battle, 1 moment, it's nothing too strenuous, but it's another 2k. Shapeshifters 5, we've obviously done 5 of the 8, but basically play 2 matches in drafts, so you've got to possibly spend 15k, unless you get a draft token from somewhere. Gold upgrade, as we mentioned, you do it 4 times, so it's, you get these a few times within the Shapeshifters and Ultimate TOTS and whatnot, so it's not too bad. Silver upgrade 4 times, so yeah, same as we've highlighted. Because you're doing all the play matches, like play 7, you then chip these off in other ones. So that's why I said friendly is the best bit to combine everything that's these type of ones. Play 5 with minimum 1 Bundesliga and 1 Saudi League. Goes back to the argument I said about nations. So the squad example, I tried to make it so I was looking at what else I could do in as few games as possible at the time. And then assist 2 goals using a Brazilian player in the same match in any foot game mode. Now this, remember, this is one, depending on the squad that you initially build, you would sub this player on most likely, but it just makes it easy. Score 3 headers in 1 game, basically nothing too strenuous there. And then win 6 matches with minimum 3 German players. So depending, as I said, with your squad, you would make this nice and straightforward for having everything just kind of fit really, because there's probably a decent amount of German players across like the top 5 leagues, for example, that you can make it work with, and say Saudi and like Eredivisie and whatnot, because there's quite a lot of the league. There's like 5-6 leagues you've got to kind of factor in, 4, 5, 6, 7 leagues. So it's about being smart. Taylor Boyd, while doing all this, you'll unlock him, so you'll get 3 more packs for your trouble plus a 93 rated shapeshifter, and because he's a shapeshifter, it will help unlock other stuff that you chip away at. Depending on your approach in the game, you potentially could unlock Kamavinga throughout all this. So for 50 completions, you get an 83 double, 3 83s, 2 84s, 3 84s, TOTS pack, and a shapeshifter pack. I'd imagine with everything that's available, especially if you get to level 40, I think you like, for the amount of fodder packs it would be able to build up and the amount of SBCs you could do, I think you could get Kamavinga unlocked, if I'm personally honest. That's just my opinion with that. Through all this, just now you can get daily login, so if you're starting tomorrow, this goes live Friday night by the way folks, you'd get an 80 times 5, so it gives you a start as well, as I said, with the Kamavinga stuff, and potentially even leveled up, so something to factor in as well. Shapeshifters 6, this is just all play stuff, but 5k XP, you get 2 player packs. You just got to make sure you've got 2 shapeshifters in your starting 11. So as I say, this is when having Tyler Boyd in as quick as possible helps, and also if you can get the Thiago Silva pretty quickly as well, just makes your job easy. Shapeshifters 4, Shapeshifters 6 and Shapeshifters 4 is all just these kind of play objectives. I say, because you only need a shapeshifters here, because you've got to do it twice, what you'll find is you can rack up 10k XP, so you can literally get to Thiago Silva pretty quickly, but then you've got to do these 15 matches with 2 shapeshifters. Depending on your coin balance as well, as you go along, you could try and buy a second shapeshifter just to cover your back in the short term, but we'll explain everything as we go along. So Shapeshifters V is play 7, so as I said, nothing strenuous, win 3 rivals matches. As I said, you're going to have to play rivals at some point, so you might as well get them in as early as possible with enough combined objectives. Play 5 matches with minimum 4 La Liga players. As I said, goes back to the argument with nations in particular for that, so it's about being smart. Score 3 goals in 1 match, nice and easy. 8 through ball assists, 1 game, nothing too difficult there. Win 6 matches with minimum 4 Spanish players. It goes back to what we're saying with leagues with that. Whenever it says a nation, I always look at league requirements just to see how easy I can make it for myself. Gold upgrade 3, silver upgrade 3, so we've got obviously try to do a maximum of 4. It's nothing too strenuous. Shapeshifters 2 as we've mentioned, like another play objective, so you get 2 more packs for your trouble. So yeah, just 1-0 rage quits, and if you've got Boyd in the team, not Boyd, Booth sorry, in the team, you get 5k XP plus the packs, and plus with these 284 plus player packs, or even the 2 player packs, you never know if you get a leveled up player. It just makes the XP that you can gain from above the start as well a bit easier. Shapeshifters 1, play 7, squad battles 5. If you're going to do any squad battles in general, best advice is play your first 5 games on professional, gets it out the road and it's not too strenuous. Play 5 matches with 3 Premier League and 3 Eredivisie players. It goes back to Spanish, Dutch, German, whatever nationalities that's kicking about. It's about being tactical and smart. Scoring assists using an English player in 3 separate matches. You can sub this player on, as I said, like with the Brazil stuff, so it just makes it easy for you. That's the way I always look at these kind of things. Score 3 goals with defender in any game mode. Is if you're doing the friendly stuff first, best to look at one game to do things like this. Win 5 matches with minimum 5 Dutch players in your starting 11. It doesn't have to all be Eredivisie, as I say, it can be Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, whatever, Saudi League, whatever. Just scout the leagues, find what works, and just makes it nice and easy so you're not stressing yourself. Like, I know some people would even run the 5 Dutch players from maybe say 5 different leagues if they know it ticks off, say like Bundesliga, Saudi, Serie A, Ligue 1, whatever. Depending on what like leagues have Dutch players, it just makes it easy for them that they know, oh, I can balance it out better with other leagues, and just have a bit of fun for it. Complete gold upgrade, complete silver upgrade, so it says when you've done it 4 times, you get them chipped along. Ultimate TOTS, this is when it gets interesting. Play 6 matches in any foot game mode, score 3 goals in foot friendlies, because you're doing it friendlies anyway, you're fine. Play 6 matches with minimum 3 TOTS in your starting 11. Now you don't need this objective to get, as I said, the 40k XP if you're trying to do extravaganza home, but you can still rack up 3 TOTS through like the SBC, TOTS player pack, and probably just buying a third if needed, just to kind of get the third one in. Just depends what your approach for coins and how packs are treating you, basically, really. Smooth finesse, as I said, 3 goals, nice and straightforward. Swing in 3 assists with a cross. Win 3 matches with minimum 4 TOTS in your starting 11, so another one that you've got to factor in for. But as I say, it goes back to the TOTS SBC. If you're trying to put fodder to use, like bigger fodder, these are the SBCs you're going to do, if I'm honest. It just gives you a chance at more TOTS. Complete the gold upgrade SBC 3 times and complete the position modifier once. So just to kind of, like, as I said, re-illustrate everything, the XP that you'll have gained to that point, if you've done everything, is 44,250 once you've played all the games necessary. Like, you don't need to necessarily stress about ultimate TOTS stuff. If you're trying to get extravaganza home, there's always one that you can kind of forego. Like, but these are the only 2 really that you probably would try and avoid. Like, yes, you're missing out on 2,250 XP, but I suppose if you're trying to get everything in a day, and you just want everything done, and depending how things play out with it's also, like, I think also as well, if I'm right thinking, you could probably do this in co-op. So you could probably play with a friend and get it done in co-op. That's my assumption. Like, and then it saves you having to waste 75k. So if you've got a friend, maybe worth hoping that your friends unlock this to get it done. If it works, then you're laughing. If it doesn't, then you just have to spend 75k to get it done. from there. Obviously milestone stuff has things as well, so statistics goals and squad battles, so that's one game. Because you're doing squad battles, rivals, anyways, you'll get that chipped away. Score at least 2 goals in 3 separate matches, you'll naturally get that done through your squad battles, rivals games anyway. Scoring 3 separate matches using Serie A players, because you can sub them on, it's not too bad, but obviously depending on the squad you initially build, you can chip away at that. So you can literally get 3 objectives done without really like being subconscious. But if you're wanting them early, you get the XP in early, win 8 matches with minimum 3 Serie A players in your starting 11. It all depends what squad you build initially, but the squad example I'm going to show does not necessarily cover for these, but I would say I think I would, in theory, probably build a squad that just covers for that, and then that way you can tick it away and it's done and dusted. Level up, daily login for once, you get an 83 double, and so it's not too bad on your first day. And because if you're starting on Saturday morning, because you're doing it maybe say late at night, and by the time 6 PM comes you'll be able to do it the second time as well, and you'll get an 83 double. So there's 2 packs for your trouble. With everything that you're chipping away as well, say through all your packs, you'll be able to maybe get a 96 Calonor glue. So it'd be 5 matches if you're very lucky. And you know, Pacho, you can get him for your trouble. Same with Foyth, same with Corona. Who else can you realistically? Fakir, you could potentially get unlocked. So that wouldn't be too shabby if I'm honest. Same for Cavani. That's literally it. So it's literally Cavani, Fakir, Corona, Foyth, Pat. So you could literally get, what was I saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then tomorrow you could get your 7. So you could literally have 7 level up players by the close of play tomorrow night. You can chip away like all these kind of stuff like transfer mastery, squad battle, rivals, co-op mastery, draft mastery potentially, first owner, team of the week warm up, finishing mastery, depending how much you really want packs, squad battle, squad building mastery, moments mastery, not obviously like friendlies mastery because you're not playing friendlies, like online friendlies, you're just doing friendlies with your mates. Bronze squad mastery, you could potentially chip away, I suppose, if you really wanted. Same for silver squad. Assist mastery, you could really chip away. As I said, some of these big packs you could obtain en route, like the 100k pack for 500 assists with a squad. It all depends how you really approach it. So the squad I initially had built, and I'm going to actually adjust it here while we're in fact no, I can't, because I know what like if you wanted, what you would do is you could bring in 2 Spanish players, but the problem is because you're trying to cover like different leagues, different nation requirements, it gets tricky. So you could in theory cover Serie A here. You could sub in, if I go to Spanish, Serie A, what we've got should just be like Luis Alberto. In fact, you don't have to go like Luis Alberto. Go like Deulofeu, you could go Brahim, and say Patrick. Then, depending how you want to go about it, what I'll do is I'll get more midfielder for this one. I'll make it Pedro in this case then. Right, there we go. And then that way you're able to unlock Calonor glue while doing it. Yes, you've ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Spanish, but at the same time, like you're able, you'll be able to chip away at what you visually feel comfortable with. As I say, in terms of like the players unlocked, like more so as a guaranteed really is like Camavinga, Kalinoglu and Booth. They're like a given. Like when we go to this, you'll get 75 times 5, 83 double, 584s or a TOTS player pack, depending, as I said, what approach you're taking with XP, and if you're wanting the stuff for minimum 3 TOTS players, minimum TOTS 4, you can take this pack, but at the same time it depends what you're comfortable with. Level 7's an 83 rareable player, level 9's 3 83s, 85-10 or Shapeshifters Thiago Silva. If you're trying to get the 2 Shapeshifters in early, best advice is take Thiago Silva because there's obviously no Shapeshifters in packs. But if you've managed to accumulate coins really early and can buy one over packing one, then go and do it. But if you can't, then, and you're trying to get the games done quick, then take this pack. Play roll the pack, sadly. Plus 85 10s, you never know what you might get anyways. Level 12, 81 double. Level 14's an 86 double. Level 15's a Shapeshifters player pack or 784s. Goes back to the argument we've said, like if level 10 you didn't take the if you took Thiago Silva, you'll be well beyond this. You don't really need a Shapeshifters player pack. You'd rather take the 784s on the hope of packing level up players. Level 17's an 85 double, level 19's an 84 rare. Level 20 you're never going to take Part G swing sadly, but you will probably take 25 84 players pack to give yourself a chance of leveled up players and half decent fodder to put into SBCs. Level 22's an 81 double, level 24's 86 double, level 25's an 85 585, level 27's an 81 double, level 28's an 82 times 10, level 30 is Shapeshifters Cruise or a 3084 plus pack. As I say, it comes down to what you're trying to focus on at this point. Do you want to build a best possible kind of team, or do you want more fodder and the chance of leveled up players? Level 31's an 85 double, level 32's an 83 rare player, level 34's one of 3 85 plus play pick, level 35's an 85 10 or a 1 of 5 Shapeshifters. As I say, it comes down to what you want at that stage. I'd probably be taking 85 10 if it was me personally. Level 37's 383s, level 38's 585, level 39's an 86 double, level 40 you've got the option of Del Piero, 2585 players pack or 1 of 4 prime team of the year foot birthday or trophy times icon. I think most of us would probably take 25-5 on the hope of trying to get the fodder pack, paying out with more, not just fodder, but more like chance at leveled up, and just in the end, probably what you'll find is you'll chip away, as I said, at Camavinga, but with everything that's available in like live stuff, so you might chip away at Nacho, Tapsoba, Lauritsen, Acuna, Raheem Sterling, especially if you're trying to get the better version of him. As I said, you'll maybe try and get the 50 times done. Like, it doesn't take long to do it. For like, yes, by the time this goes live, by the time you start to say tomorrow, you've only really got about 36 hours, but even then it doesn't take really that long to chip away at. You might do Lisandro Martinez, you could probably do marquee matchups, and you've got 5 packs in here that are all tradable. Not the best packs, but at least you could chip away at these while doing it. Let's say TOTS or TOTS Moments packs. What else could you do? Oops, didn't mean to do that. That was not wise. You could get Kante, as you'll have the daily login available to if on a fresh account. 93 plus TOTS or Shapeshifters player pack will be available to do tomorrow on a fresh account. It refreshes in 2 days, or leveled up daily login you'd get done as well. Then you'd also try and look to chip away at basics, and you'd look to chip away at advanced as well. Try and get yourself more fodder, or realistically at the moment you'd focus on Camavinga first more than anything. At least get that done. Like, I doubt you'll probably do any of these icon SBCs, but I suppose it depends what you're trying to throw into SBCs. My best advice would be throw your rare bronzes and your rare silvers into all of these as much as you can. So what you would find is you'd get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32 2 rare gold player packs just now. So that'd give you 64 to kind of a foothold. And you never know, because they're all tradable, you might get a leveled up player and then you'd be laughing. And as I said, season 7 items, like this is what you potentially could be putting your coins toward, is a 75k spend to get over the line, as I said, to give you 44,250 XP if you complete absolutely everything available to you just now. Because obviously you're not going to spend FIFA points for the purpose of an RPG. You just get 75k, which you probably could achieve very easily, and you'd get done and dusted. So as I said, there's a lot to take in. I'm fully aware of that. As I said, that's why I've put a graphic together with the tweet detailing everything that you can unlock, and I've even said potential players you can unlock as well. So there's a lot. You can have a bit of fun with it, and you can either go as fast as you can or as slow as you can for your RPG. But level 40 can be achieved, I would say, within like a 12 to 18 hour time span, depending how quick you get through rivals and friendlies. And remember, you can jump between old gen and new gen as well to kind of make things easy for you. But as I said, any questions, let me know on Twitter, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to help you out with it. So have a good one, folks. Take it easy all. Thanks for listening, and I will speak to you all later.